Yes, some Dylan Larkin news out there.
Hey.
And look, guys, you do need to take this to some degree with a grain of sand, because this is how markets work. This is how negotiations work. Agents leak stuff, teams leak stuff. Everybody's trying to fit their narrative, push the public perception. Contract talks between the Red Wings and Dylan Larkin reportedly are not going so well right now. It is rumored that there is a large gap between where the two parties stand. And as I said, when all this started, when we broke all this down, my take was, I's a plan, 1919.
Yes.
And why I'm a simp for him, too. He ain't giving it away because Dylan Larkin's from Waterford.
Right.
He's not. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is he needs him at a number based on what he is, based on that number working out. And if you want more than that, you ain't getting it from 1919. And I like Sam Flannel. I'm here for it because Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion,
1919,
says he's a 2 center.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it's kind
Changed my mind.
I can't change your mind on that. I think that's kind of proven out this year. And Dylan Larkin, to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, he's sort of that perfect Red Wing to sort of appeal to the heartstrings of the fans and even to like a gullible GM, because he is a hometown kid. He is, despite his faults, he is the best player on the Red Wings. I think that is unequivocal right now. He's been the best player this season, but this is still a team that's not a playoff team. I mean, speaking of the Red Wings not being a playoff teams don't lose to the Flyers this past weekend. That one really bothered me. I can see it bothered you as well.
No, because I opted out.
You opted out.
Once I saw that game went final, I opted out.
That's one of those games where you should opt out. I mean, I had sort of opted out after they lost at home to the
Columbus.
terrible Columbus Blue Jackets team when they could have had a perfect homestand, which I think there's something kind of symbolic about that. And obviously you need the 2 points. But then they did something weird, and it almost kind of made me laugh a little bit. They beat Las Vegas on the road. I'm like, are you... Like, and it kind of sucked me back in a little bit, on a 3-game road trip, 3 points. You're like, okay. And then they lose to the Flyers. And all of that is with Dylan Larkin as your number 1 center. And I'm not saying this season has been his fault. I'm just saying that he's asked to sort of play too big of a role. And then you see a guy like Dominik Kubalik, who early on in the season was sort of playing out of his mind, and the Red Wings were in the thick of the playoff race, and he's kind of fallen off. In my personal opinion, I know that I don't know the X's and O's as well as like a Darren McCarty. It looks to me like Raymond and Seider have fallen off a smidge, like they haven't taken that leap. And if they would have all done that, if Kubalik would have continued to play out of his mind, if Seider and Raymond would have sort of taken that jump into stardom, you'd think maybe you can make the playoffs with Dylan Larkin as your number 1 center. I think you can on a very, very good roster, but this season has shown there's kind of a ceiling with him. And as long as he's number 1, you're not going to win anything big.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Pete Smith wants to know, Sam Flannel, Larkin went to Michigan, so why the hate?
And now I'm a Larkin hater,
Do
right?
you celebrate him?
Yeah.
As a Michigan man?
I mean, he's one of those
For
guys.
all those hockey games were they in the CCHA back then? I can't remember.
I'm not really a Michigan hockey guy, but, he's...
Hey, dude, Yost is a good spot, man.
It is cool.
I've been to Yost.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's kind of got that same, like, Aiden Hutchinson appeal. Like, Michigan to like...
Better, but...
I mean, I understand that. But, like, that's the thing. I think we all want Dylan Larkin to work out. Like, I'm a fan of his. He's the best player on the team, hometown kid, damn good player. But if he demands too much... It wouldn't. I'm ready. I'm sort of preparing myself for the fact that he might not be a part of the winning future for the Detroit Red Wings. It sucks, but you gotta kind of prepare for it.
Mike says, pay Larks his money. Sincerely, Teddy KGB. He's a Michigan hockey guy and a Lakeland Hawks guy, so do the right thing. I don't care about any of that.
Can't make decisions like that based on that. It's a business. It's NHL hockey.
I don't care about any of that stuff. And it's just. I like this, though. I like this because Yzerman's playing hardball with them.
And Yzerman, I mean, out of all the GMs in the city, he's the one with the track record. He's the one that I still trust the most, although Brad Holmes is slowly creeping up on him. I mean, Steve Yzerman, when it's all said and done, I think that, and I know this is a big leap, I think he's going to go down as the single greatest sports figure in the history of Detroit. And that's because I think he's going to get this Red Wings team back into contention. So you got to trust him that he's making the right moves for this team, even if it comes at the expense of our beloved Dylan Larkin. And I say beloved unsarcastically.
From what I saw, kind of the national pundits are saying that Larkin's expecting in that $8 million range.
Okay.
And you guys know me, man. Like, that's what Jack Hughes is getting. Is he Jack Hughes?
No, he is not. He's not. And Jack Hughes, I mean, Jack Hughes is to me, he's going to eventually be that guy who you look at as one of the top 5 players in the NHL.
What's the number? What's the number that would make it tolerable for you with Larkin?
Man.
7?
That's as high as I'll go.
Yeah.
7.25.
I mean, 6.5. God. But Dylan Larkin, he also has that sort of being the best player on his team, being a guy who's been a point a game guy, so he might demand more than that. But 6.5, 7. Yeah.
Then hey guys, and Tammy Chin, the leader of the Red Wings fans,
yes,
on Big D Energy. Hell no, Larkin is not worth $8 million. Then there
He's not worth what Jack Hughes is. That's a hard stop.
Atomic Chicken Lakes. Here's the other side of this coin.
It's a good name.
Says Larkin's trade return is better than what he offers on the ice. See, Atomic, you got to wrap your head around the fact, though, if you're trading for him, you have to pay him. So that hurts. That hurts his value. That hurts the return. Are you gonna give up something for Larkin and then pay him $8.5 million a year? No.
But at the same time, there's some teams out there that Dylan Larkin can help get over the top and win a Stanley Cup. I think there's going to be some team that maybe overpays for him.
Well, what's overpay? A second round pick?
Damn, that's really sobering, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what it is. See, we can talk about it. It sounds good to say, oh, we'll get some picks for him. Okay, let me tell you what I would give you if it were me, because I still got to pay him. He's a rental to me until I sign him.
Yeah.
So you'll get a second round pick.
Do you think there's a GM that is going to be a little overzealous? I mean, I know that's not something that you can count on, but Dylan Larkin can help you win a Stanley Cup. They can put a team over the top from being sort of fringe contender to contender if you use them in the correct way. If he's your number 2 center.
As be a 2C or whatever.
Yes, as a 2C. But 2Cs are pretty damn valuable in the NHL.
Epic says, Larkin is a first and a prospect and conditionals if signed. No way. No, because what power do you see?
He said if signed, I think.
He did. He said if
signed.
signed.
If signed. Okay. He's a first round pick all day. Come on, Neil. Guys, when you got to pay someone north of $7 million, you're not in the business of giving up quality assets for it. You're not, because that's the heavy lifting. The Red Wings don't have any leverage, because then you just say, all right, you keep them then for the rest of the year, and I'll sign them in 4 months for free.
No, nobody's gonna do that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's get on board with business in the real world.
So we might not get as much for Dylan Larkin but at the same time, we obviously overvalue our players. So what we think Dylan Larkin is worth, because we watch him every day, is maybe not realistic. I mean, is a second round pick, though, is that really that awful of a return? I mean,
for nothing. You're doing it for nothing, because if you're not going to sign him,
right,
you got to trade him.
Right.
And see, guys, when we're in business discussions and negotiations, and my first sentence out of my mouth is, I have to, I've lost.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I have to. You don't have to.
Yep.
Sam Flannel of the Toronto Maple Leafs. You don't have to. JB Smoove of the Florida Panthers. You don't have to. You'd like to.
Who am I?
Spenmo Rax, who just got hired to replace Ken Holland at Edmonton.
Oh,
Hey.
I'm giving Connor $10 million a year.
Oh, there you go.
But you can't trade for Dylan Larkin because you don't have any cap space.
That's true. Damn it, Ken.
Sorry, Spenmo.
It's
Click.
okay. At least I got Duncan Keith.
Well, it's because someone asked
Dr.
about
Keith's
that.
fossil.
Because I knew that was where people were going to go. I was waiting for the Edmonton. I was waiting for the Edmonton reset.
They could use Dylan Larkin if they could get him, though.
Yeah, but they can't. They can't.
get him.
Yeah, they don't have any. They have zero cap space left for this season, and but see, like everybody's saying, like we got 2 seconds for Athanasiou. They're also talking about like teams that may think they're one piece away from contending that have their window closing. Is Dylan Larkin, with all due respect, is Dylan Larkin dynamic enough to save your Stanley Cup run? Like, say it out loud to yourself and listen to yourself.
I don't know about save it. Save it is enhance it, absolutely. In the right
Put
system,
you over the top.
I think in the right situation he could. It would be a team that's close. It wouldn't be a team that's like an 8 seed or anything like that. They would have to be close.
And again, I'm not slandering anybody here. I'm just, this is how business works.
I mean, do I think that he could put the Toronto Maple Leafs over the top? I think so. I'm not saying that the Toronto Maple Leafs will get him, but I think that's kind of the
If we
quality.
traded Larkin to the Maple Leafs, I'd be so upset.
Do you think Stevie would do that?
No.
Yeah, but that's an example of
Depends on what they're going to give.
Yeah, I mean, if he could hoodwink Shanny.
100%. No friends in the industry, man.
It's fair.